demonstration. Shocking news. Fani Willis is in serious trouble. Is she ghetto or not? Also, Diddy offered 50 Cent. Exactly what is it that P. Diddy offered 50 cents? And why did he offer that? But before we get started with this demonstration, if I could get you to hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. I want to salute everybody that's catching this on the replay. I want to salute everybody that's watching from the clouds. I want to salute all my moderators. I want to salute you, him, and her. I want to salute all my first-time subscribers. I want to salute the whole Rock Squad. So let's see who we got, and then I'll salute. Let me read my disclaimer. Let's get that out the way first. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Everything that you hear in this demonstration, everything that you hear in this video that I call a demonstration is allegedly only. It's all for entertainment and educational purpose only. Everything is allegedly. So I see positive vibes. I see she's up to her old tricks of roasting me. Salute 80s baby. Salute the full life. Who else we got down there? Sages, Cotan. Salute everybody. So Fani Willis. Salute Jamie. Salute Jamie. What do y'all think about Fani Willis, first of all? What do y'all think? What are y'all thoughts on Fani Willis? Let's start there. What are y'all thoughts? Do y'all think she's ghetto? What do y'all think? So, Fani Willis was born October the 27th, 1971. For Life says, I think she's attracted. So I know where you at. I got you, For Life. The For Life thinks Fani is attracted. Okay, okay. But Fani was born October the 27th, 1971. And she is an American attorney. She is the district attorney of Fulton County, Georgia, which contains most of Atlanta, serving since 2021. She is the first woman to hold the office. Willis investigated the 2020 presidential election in Georgia, which resulted in indictments against Donald Trump and 18 alleged co-conspirators on charges of racketeering and other crimes. Her party affiliation is Democrat. She belongs to the Democratic Party. Her spouse name is Fred Willis. Well, was, because I'm saying that they were married between 1996 and 2005. She was born in Inglewood, California. So that's a little bit of what we know on Fannie Mae. Also, Candace Owens. Do y'all remember Candace Owens had came out and called Fani Willis ghetto? So it says, let's see. And this is an old article. This is from March the 15th. It says, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis can prosecute Donald Trump on charges that he interfered with Georgia's 2020 election. Now that a special prosecutor with whom she had a romantic relationship has withdrawn from the case. But the long-term impacts of allegations that have roiled the case for weeks remain to be seen, with Trump and his allies certain to continue to attack the legitimacy of the prosecution against the former president and 18 others. Trump wasn't having it. Salute, Sharon. Salute, Sharon. Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McPhee ruled Friday that Willis could stay if Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade left. That was a partial victory for Willis, whom defense attorneys had pushed to have removed from the case over her relationship with Wade. But the judge also rebuked Willis for her tremendous lapse in judgment and questioned the truthfulness of Wade's and her testimony about the timing of their relationship. Now, that was a month ago. That was a month ago. It says, the judge put the ball in Willis' court. The judge's ruling threw it to Willis to decide whether she and her entire office would step aside or whether Wade would withdraw from the case. The judge said the prosecution couldn't move forward until one of those two actions was taken. Several hours after the ruling came down, Wade offered his resignation and Willis accepted it. If Willis had instead opted to step aside, the case would have been referred to the Prosecuting Attorney's Council, a non-partisan association of Georgia district attorneys, to be assigned to a different prosecutor. That could have appended the entire prosecution. Another prosecutor could have continued on the track that Willis has taken, could have chosen to pursue only some charges, or could have dropped the case altogether. Now, that was a month ago, like I said. And a month ago, it pretty much seemed like it was going to be an easy win for Fani. Even after Candace considered her to be ghetto. It says the financial concerns. The defense attorney who first revealed the romantic relationship, Ashley Merchant, alleged that Willis paid Wade large sums for his work and then improperly benefited from the prosecution of the case. When Wade used his earnings to pay for vacations for the two of them, Willis and Wade argued that the district attorney received no financial benefit from the relationship and that she either paid for things herself or used cash to reimburse Wade for travel expenses. It says the judge called it concerning that there were no documents to corroborate Willis' claim and that she paid Wade back. But he said Willis' testimony withstood direct contradiction and was corroborated by other evidence, including her purchase of a flight for two in 2022. That led the judge to conclude that the claim was not so incredible as to being inherently unbelievable. So I'm going to read a little bit more, and then we're going to go into where things turned left. The judge said there was no way to know for sure that Willis and Wade's expenses were split evenly, and Willis may well have received a net benefit of several $100s. But the judge said the defendants didn't provide sufficient evidence to prove that Willis financially benefited from hiring Wade. So it seems like a relationship between the district attorney. It says, furthermore, the judge concluded that enriching herself through her relationship with Wade was not a motivating factor in Willis' decision to bring the case. The judge noted that Willis was not financially destitute throughout this time or in any great need, but was making more than $200,000 per year. He also said there was no indication she was trying to prolong the case to rake in more money, noting that prosecutors had initially wanted the case to go to trial less than 6 months after they brought the indictment. Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. Rock Squad, help me out. Do y'all see anything that Fani Willis has done? Drop a 1 if y'all feels as though she should be taken off the case. Also drop the 1 if y'all feels as though accepting the money, accepting the trips with Wade was wrong. Drop a 2 if y'all feel like she didn't do anything wrong. Then it says Willis' public statements. Attorneys for Trump and others said Willis' public statements about the case veered into the realm of misconduct, saying she expressed her belief in the guilt of defendants. The judge noted that he had to consider whether the remarks were part of a calculated plan to prejudice the defendants in the minds of future jurors. He said the comments must be, can't pronounce that, but the comments must be improper to justify disqualification. So we got some of y'all that feels like what she done was wrong. We got some of y'all that feel like what she done wasn't wrong. Now, we want to know. Okay, I'm going to read a little bit more, and then we're going to go deeper. So it says the judge found that statements Willis made describing the charges in the indictment, her office's conviction, her office conviction rates, and personal anecdotes were not disqualifying. That extended to her unorthodox decision to speak on the record of others of a book about the special grand jury investigation that preceded the indictment he wrote. A speech she gave at a historic black church in Atlanta less than a week after the allegations of her relationship with Wade surfaced was a different matter. The judge wrote, Willis complained in those remarks that people had questioned her decision to hire Wade and questioned his qualifications, seeming to suggest the criticism arose from the fact that she and Wade are black. Do y'all think that a lot of it has to do with them being black? Drop a 3. Drop a 3 if you think they're being treated this way because they're black. Drop a 4 if you think race has nothing to do with this. The judge noted that the speech did not mention any defendant by name and did not address the merits of the charges in the case or disclose any sensitive or confidential evidence. He said he didn't find that it crossed the line to the point that the defendants couldn't have a fair trial. All right, let's fast forward. Now, I want to fast forward because now it's a situation where, according to the law in Georgia, there's a big problem. Salute everybody that just came in. Okay. Now, this is coming from Melanie King. So a shout out to Melanie King. And I like the way Melanie King broke this down. So a big shout out to Melanie King. So let's listen to what Melanie King has to say as she chop it up. And then we're going to chop it up ourselves.
Go, but we know she doesn't want. She's refusing right now to not only turn them. Says the central resolution said the consensual relationships that may not be sexual harassment under federal employment laws still violate Fulton County Personnel Procedure 311-16, which prohibits sexual relationships between a supervisor and a subordinate.
Let me read it in case you all didn't hear it. It says, in Calvin Brock versus Fulton County, the Board of Commissioners, Hall's former chief of staff has sought monetary damages for sexual harassment for her alleged decision to engage in a sexual relationship with him, and for retaliation in violation of federal employment laws. The censor resolution said that consensual relationships that may not be sexual harassment under federal employment laws still violate Fulton County Personnel Procedures 311-16, which prohibits sexual relationships between a supervisor and a subordinate. The censor resolution also said Hall chose to retain another employee despite his apparent violations of county procedures, misuse of county property, and guilty pleas to crimes involving deceit and the forcible taking of property. So there's a law in Fulton County. Let's listen to some more.
Guys, are you kidding me? Did you guys know that Fulton County Personnel Procedure, it prohibits a sexual relationship between a supervisor and subordinate? Fani Willis was Nathan Wade's direct subordinate. I did not know. This is my first time hearing that this actually violates county law. Has the fanny pack turned? Hey guys, happy Sunday, and I thought I would bring you some good news about Fani Willis to make your Sunday just bright and happy. But basically, if you don't remember, that ethics complaints were given to Fulton County about Fani Willis. They had received multiple complaints about her, but then they passed it on to the state because they said that they didn't have jurisdiction over Fani Well, now that has changed. This just changed this week. So not only will she be facing going before the ethics board of the state of Georgia, but now she's also going to go before the ethics board there in Fulton County. I don't have a lot of faith in Fulton County, but the fact that they changed this law, and I think specifically geared towards going after her, is good news. So let's get into this article. A change in Fulton County Board of Ethics policy could expose District Attorney Fani Willis to new complaints. Willis has faced increasing scrutiny from her Republican critics as she leads the prosecution of former President Donald Trump, who's charged in attempts to overturn the 2020 blah 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 blah. Okay, and it says, and then they're going into the case. We already know about that. Amid the Trump case, critics have raised concerns about Willis's conduct. Trump and his supporters have argued Willis should be removed from the case over her romantic relationship with Nathan Wade.
Let's stop right there. How many of y'all think that she should be removed from the case strictly off of her relationship with Nathan Wade? How many of y'all feel as though she should be moved off of the Donald Trump case specifically because her relationship with Nathan Wade? Drop a 1. Drop a 2 if you don't think so.
Prosecutor who has since been removed from the case after a judge ruled either Wade or Willis must depart. Some of the concerns were raised in ethics complaints dropped last month after the board determined it lacked jurisdiction over Willis, a state constitutional officer. They're saying because she's a state officer that they dropped those complaints, and it was actually passed. The buck was passed up to Georgia, to the state. But the ethics board guidelines changed on Wednesday. Okay, just this past Wednesday, they changed this specific guideline, guys, and I wonder why. Freeing the board to hear complaints against Willis, according to the report from Rough Draft, and I actually have that report from Rough Draft. The amendment refines the definition of an employee of the count to include any elected or appointed official whose department or agency is appropriated funds from the county, which would include Willis's office. We also know that she is under investigation right now by the House Judiciary Committee because her misuse and mishandling and misappropriation of federal grant money that actually somehow ended up in Alabama, in a prison type of thing in Alabama. And then the people in Alabama have absolutely no idea about that, which I will be doing investigations into that so we can kind of unpack where did this money actually go. But we know she's refusing right now to not only turn over documents to the House Judiciary Committee concerning this grant money, but we know there's a whistleblower who was actually the director of the grant money that actually blew the whistle on her about this, that she ended up firing for blowing the whistle. But then we also know that she is under right now there's a lawsuit against her, and she has been subpoenaed, and that they have requested those records as well, and she is refusing to comply. So she's refusing to show records and comply with everyone involved with this grant money. So we know that there's a lot of dirt going on, and that old Fanny Pack, we know there's a lot of backdoor. Fanny Pack,
I chose Wix for...
Let me ask y'all something. Drop a 3 if y'all think Fani Willis is ghetto, allegedly.
Because of its massive scope for functionality and...
Drop a 3. Drop a 3 in the chat if y'all think Fani is ghetto. Candace Owens thinks she's ghetto. Do y'all think she's ghetto? Drop a 3 if you think she's ghetto. And drop 1.
She's packing it in, guys, in that back door. Let's keep going because I'm getting crazy. The policies, however, are not retroactive. Fulton County Board of Commissioners Bob Ellis told Rough Draft Atlanta, meeting the ethics board will not necessarily hear the prior complaints raised against Willis. So anything that was already raised in them previously, they can't hear, but you already know people can refile. So if you're in Fulton County and you have an ethics complaint against Fannie Pack Willis, this is your time to actually, now you can submit that complaint to the county right now, and they have to take it up within their hearing. The ethics complaint centered around Willis's relationship with Wade. Critics argued that the pair benefited financially from taxpayers' money through Wade's appointment. Willis and Wade have said that they did not have a relationship, not again, blah, blah, blah. We know a bunch of lies. We know that her relationship, according to not Sonia Allen, to one of...
Salute Dana J. Salute Dana J. and the Dream Team. Why do y'all think Fani lied about her relationship? Why do y'all think she lied? Anybody with any answers? Why do y'all think she lied about the relationship with Nathan? Ann says she got 2-inch power and abused it. She got too much power and abused it. A lot of folks do. Can't deny that. A lot of folks get power and they don't know what to do with it. They abuse it. You know, and that's all around the world. Ann says she knows it was illegal. Dana J says so she wouldn't get caught up by the judicial committee. Positive says because it's none of their business what she do in her private life. And that's a good point, Positive Vibes. But is it? What do y'all think? 80s Baby said because they will start questioning her job ethics. Once you take a government office or once you take a state or federal office, is it their business? Is your personal life, does your personal life becomes their business? Saget says, want to keep Trump case, they will get a huge amount of money. Ann says she is in high position too. Yes. She's definitely in high position.
Miss Purdy, her friend, that she actually lived in her place, that relationship began in 2019 when Nathan Wade was still married, and they both were judges in Fulton County. The ethics board was supposed to hear the case on March 7th, but ultimately determined not to do so. Actually, sorry, let me go back. Willis maintains that she did not engage in any wrongdoing. Right. It remains unknown whether Willis will face more ethics complaints. And we already know Judge McAfee, who made that cowardly ruling, he said that it was that basically he gave her a pass in allowing her to stay on the case. But he even said it was the odor of mendacity, I think, and that she did a lot of wrongdoing in that. So even the judge said that there are valid ethic complaints against her. So I don't know what the actual penalty will be with it, but we do know that even the judge, even though he gave that cowardly ruling and he should have just dismissed and taken her entire office off of the case, that he even said,
do y'all think that the judge should have dismissed it and took her entire office off of the case? Do y'all think the judge should have just, from the beginning, took Fani Willis and her entire office off of the Trump case? Dana J says, yup. Do y'all feel as though this will work in Trump's favor? Ann says yes. Do y'all feel as though this will work in Trump's favor if she's taken off of the case? Somebody mentioned to me on TikTok, and they said, and I want y'all to let me know how y'all feel. They said, Shank Rob, if Trump is innocent, it doesn't matter if Fani stays on the case or if she's taken off the case. I said, I'm going to have to bring that to the Rock Squad and see what the Rock Squad thinks. How do y'all feel about that? If Trump is innocent, it shouldn't make a difference whether Fani Willis stays on or not. Let me know. Let me know in the chat how y'all feel. 80s Baby says, definitely they will be more focused on her than Trump. That's a good point. That's a good point.
That there was some ethic violations in her conduct and what she was doing. Just on that alone, we're not talking about all the other things that we unpacked and uncovered that she violated within the office and what she's doing with the House Judiciary Committee and this lawsuit and multiple other things where she's hiding funds, misappropriating funds, hiding evidence, covering up evidence, firing whistleblowers. Like, it's just layers upon layers.
I like her. She's a crook. I like her. And 411 says, I mean, now that we know she will lie, it may work for him. I like Fani Willis. She's a crook, hiding money, Lying. I like her.
Of corruption that has taken place in this office under her watch. So it says Willis has also faced a separate ethics complaint as the state bar alleges she misspent state funds with waste. So the state bar, guys, as well, is going after her. House Republicans are also investigating whether her office misused federal grant funds. The Department of Justice previously acknowledged inconsistencies in her office use of some funds, but the details remain unknown. We actually got some of those details in a report I did previously. So you have to check out that video where I actually went into the details of what this misappropriation was. And I think maybe I'll try to do a deeper dive into where those funds could have went. This other charity that's in Alabama or Arkansas, one of those states. And it makes no sense. This money was earmarked for a juvenile center, for a center for youth, for at-risk youth, to keep them off the streets and from gangs. But this money ended up somehow not, that center that was supposed to open for the youth of Atlanta, the youth of Fulton County, never opened. The children didn't get the money. The money was spent on other things and spent on other states. But those other states says they have no idea where that money is. So something is really going on here. So we're going to be investigating all of that. This is Rough Draft Atlanta, and this is where that article.
I gotta stop it for a minute, y'all. Can I get everybody to wish Nola a happy birthday? We will be doing a birthday celebration for Nola tonight and at the Rock Squad. So can I get everybody to give Nola a happy birthday? Happy birthday, Nola, and we will be doing a birthday celebration for you tonight at 9 p.m. Throw up some cakes, throw up some ice creams, throw up some balloons for Nola.
Article came from that I just read, but it's Fulton County Commission updates ethics, anti-nepotism policies to cover elected officials. Let's get into it. So some of these things will apply to Fannie Pack, but some not, but I want to give you the details. Two measures strengthening the county government's code of ethics were approved by the Fulton County Commission during its April 17th meeting, which was last Wednesday. Commissioner Bob Ellis sponsored the agenda items that clarified who falls under the county's codes of ethics and doing the same for its anti-nepotism policy. The ethics policy was extended to all types of elected officials in Fulton County that receive Fulton County funds, he told Rough Draft Atlanta. Ellis said the ethics complaints regarding District Attorney Fani Willis had come from the county's Ethics Commission. That board determined that the way the code of ethics was written didn't apply to the district attorney. The new legislation defines what an officer or an employee of the county is and states that the definition shall include any elected or appointed official whose department or agency is appropriated funds from the county, which makes sense. If the county is paying anything into that office or into that elected official, then that should be county business, not just state. It will fall under state and county.
With fully electric performance and up to 320 miles of range, Polestar 2 is designed for drivers. Visit your local Polestar space to test drive and order today.
So to all of you great MAGA Republicans, I love you, you know that. If you want to win a signed hat from your all-time favorite president, me, what you do is just sign up and you're going to get it. And here it is. I'm going to sign it right in front of you.
The nepotism policy was designed to make sure that elected officials who engage in violations will be subject to some sort of consequences, giving the right to set other punishment as the commission saw fit, Ellis said. What other punishment? I would like to know how far reaching are their hand? How far can they go with their punishments? On the nepotism policy, a complaint that had been made to the Ethics Commission, Commissioner Natalie Hall engaged in relations with her former chief of staff, who filed a sexual harassment complaint against her. That was adjudicated in a court of law, Ellis said. My God. So another woman, another sex scandal in Fulton County. And guys, the former DA before Fani Pack Willis, he also was embroiled in a sexual harassment scandal as well. So again, this office is ripe with corruption in Fulton County as a whole. The commission voted to censure Hall after the lawsuit was filed and also for continued employment of his staff member who violated county procedures. So they allowed the county employee to stay on who violated. So I'm not sure, and I'm not sure what the censure was actually going to do. So the county, I can look at.
So the county was already, the office had already had scandals before she even came in. Man, ain't nothing new under the sun. Terrible. Exactly, Bianca.
We can go into that. So the county had no instances of nepotism with both the district attorney and commissioner, and a commissioner, Ellis said. The policies were not retroactive and have now gone into effect, he said. Okay, let's just look at this really quickly. I want to see what this censure was, because is this some type of punishment that they could possibly put on Fani Willis? Natalie Hall censured by Fulton County Commissioner over sexual harassment allegations. So it says the Fulton County Commissioner censured Commissioner Natalie Hall after a sexual harassment lawsuit was filed against her in the county by her former chief of staff. Hall was also censured for the continued employment of a staff. Oh, she was censured for also employing. Okay, so they didn't allow the employee to stay on. She was censured for continuing the employment of a staff member who violated county procedures.
Wow.
The vote was 5-0.
Wow.
With Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. not voting as he disputed the authority of the commission to censure Hall.
Wow.
So this is just going into, it says, in Calvin Brock versus Fulton County Board of Commissioners, Hall's former chief of staff has sought monetary damages for sexual harassment for her alleged decision to engage in a sexual relationship with him and for retaliation in violation of federal employment laws.
You think she biased the for life? Drop salute Yvette. Drop a 1 if y'all think like the for life. Drop a 1 if y'all think that this lady Melanie King is biased. How do y'all feel about what she's been saying? Drop a 1. How do y'all feel?
I'm a little bit behind with this story.
How do y'all feel? Nola says we are. Bianca dropped the 1. Y'all think she's biased? Okay, okay. Let's hear a little bit, because I just got a little bit more from her about the situation. The For Life says, yes, sir, she don't like Fani. Okay, so you feel as though she don't like Fani, but the things that she's saying about Fani, could they be possible true? How do y'all feel about that? Positive vibes, the For Life, Bianca, Ebek, Nola, Spoken Facts, and everybody else. Do y'all think, even though she sounds like she don't like her, but do y'all think that what she's saying could possibly be true? I just want to just hear just a little bit more, and then we'll move on.
As the fanny pack turns. Hey guys, it's your girl Melanie, and I'm a little bit behind with this story. I saw it, but guys, you know, I've been under the weather, so I wanted to still cover it here on my channel for you guys who don't know what's going on with Fani Willis. Whole fanny pack. She is so defiant. She does not think that the law applies to her. I don't know who's protecting her, whether it's the White House, the DNC, Fulton County, but there's a lot of corruption going on there, and she's been investigated from the Georgia Senate, the Georgia Ethics Committee, the Georgia State's Attorney, and also she's basically been investigated by the House Judiciary Committee led by Jim Jordan. So let's get into this and why she thinks she's above the law, and why I continue to believe that her case is completely over against Donald Trump there in Georgia. So let's get into it. So it says Fulton DA Fani Willis says my office can't be sued in an open records case. And it says here that Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, whose office has issued a series of historic indictments against the nation's 45th president and his allies, is alleging her office cannot be sued under the state's Open Records Act. I hate how they...
So Sean says she didn't do her homework on Trump. He beat New York City mobsters and won. Fani not dotting her I's or crossing her T.
Try to say it's this, it's this record, it's this official record that she filed all these false charges against Donald Trump. I actually went through and I did even a live stream breaking down all of the different election fraud and the election fraud that was going on down there in Georgia by Voter GA, which is an independent auditing committee that actually went through everything, and it is absolutely insane. I still, because I got sick, I didn't get the chance to go through. I did the full breakdown of the 18 pages, but I want to take that piece by piece and do videos so you guys can have that broken down and explain it a little bit more, so it's a little bit more digestible to everyone, because not everyone has time to listen to a 2-hour podcast about that. But let's continue. In a response filed earlier this month to an open records request from America First Legal, Willis's office said the request fails as a matter of law because the Fulton County District Attorney's Office as an entity is not capable of being sued. Plaintiff's complaint against the Fulton County District Attorney's Office should be dismissed as a matter of law because the Fulton County District Attorney's Office is not an entity that can be sued. Willis' office said. They just said that. I don't know why they repeated that. In February, America's First Legal filed a complaint, according to Newsweek, against Willis in an effort to compel her office to produce records related to meetings and communications between Willis or ex-special prosecutor Nathan Wade and the White House or U.S. Justice Department officials. And we do know even Jim Jordan has confirmed that there was some collusion with the White House. We know from Nathan Wade's billing records, his misappropriation of funds and how he even billed for this, that the taxpayers of Fulton County were charged for 2 full-day 8-hour meetings with White House officials. We know that Fani Willis, she was up there at the White House as well, meeting with Kamala Harris. And so there has been some collusion. We know that Jim Jordan is investigating how she got January 6th committee evidence to use against Trump in the actual indictment that they put out against him and his co-defendants. There's so much collusion going on, and people are trying to investigate it, but she is blocking these records. If she's done nothing wrong, there should be no issue with her giving these records. She's also refusing to give records to the House Judiciary Committee and Jim Jordan. So she is in violation right now of contempt of Congress. So we have to see how this is going to continue to play out and what's going to be coming down the pipeline for her with the consequences of these things, which hopefully soon. But the wheels of justice turn very slow, and it seems to be a lot of road blockage in order to get this woman. So I don't want to know, again, who is protecting her, who is stopping her from producing these White House records. And it seems, like I said in the beginning, is the White House protecting Fani Willis?
Is the White House protecting Fani Willis? Now, she definitely, I get what you are saying, that she sounds biased and she sounds like she don't like her, but at the same time, she's definitely given the 411 on Fani, allegedly. She's hitting the nail. So now let's kind of match her up with none other than Fani Willis. Let's hear from Fani Willis. Positive Vibes says, I feel she is telling the truth. I feel that too, Positive Vibes. I definitely feel like she's telling the truth. She probably is biased. She probably don't like her. But I do feel like she's telling the truth. But let's go to Fani Willis.
never says how much they love Tuesdays. Well, at Outback, we do. Introducing Tuesday Tails at Outback. Every Tuesday, enjoy a mouth-watering steamed lobster tail with a juicy sirloin starting at $24.99. Meet your new favourite day, mate. Tuesday Tails, only at Outback Steakhouse.
Saga says she telling the truth.
No way. Why would I use kayak to compare hundreds of travel?
Isn't it true that you met Mr. Wade in October?
And this is her being questioned.
Isn't it true that you met Mr. Wade in October 2019 at the judges'
He
conference?
hasn't gotten to the point where Ms. Willis should be treated hostile.
I think we
I'm very much want to be here, so I'm not a hostile witness. I very much want to be
Not
here.
so much that you're hostile, Ms. Willis, it'd be an adverse witness. Your interests are opposed to Ms. Merchant's.
Ms. Merchant's interests are contrary to democracy, Your Honor, not to mine.
A Fulton County District Attorney in charge of criminally prosecuting former President Donald Trump for interference in the 2020 election shockingly took the stand during a hearing in the case. Fani Willis had sought to avoid testifying about the allegation she was in a romantic relationship with the special prosecutor she assigned to the Trump case. But in an about face, she stormed into the courtroom and she insisted that she testify.
Please, give me the time period.
Mr. Wade visited you at the place you laid your head.
Do y'all think she should have had even testified? I'm starting to think maybe she should have just kept her mouth shut. How do y'all feel? Do y'all feel like, because she had the opportunity, as they said, she stormed in there. I think she should have just kept her mouth shut. How do y'all feel? Do y'all think she should have just kept her mouth shut? Saga says she strutted herself up there. She wasn't supposed to. That's how I feel. I feel the same way. Like, what the hell is you doing? You might want to take your ass back up out of here. Why would you come in here? See, let me tell y'all something. Let me share something with y'all. If you got even that much dirt on you, look, if you got even that much dirt on you, stay out of the courtroom. Stay away from the law. Stay off of social media. If you got that much dirt on you, stay home. Let's listen.
When?
Has he ever visited you at the place you laid your head?
So let's be clear, because you lied in this. Let me tell you which one you lied in. Right here. I think you lied right here. No. This is the truth, Judge. And it is a lie. It is a lie.
Ms. Willis? Mr. Sena, I think you were going to take 5 minutes.
The Fulton County District Attorney made headlines when she brought RICO charges against the former president and more than a dozen of his campaign staff.
Fellas, if you cheating on your wife, if you cheating on your girl, fellas, keep your mouth shut. Ladies, too. Ladies, if you cheating on your husband or your boyfriend, keep your mouth shut.
In an extraordinary moment, Willis marched into the Atlanta courtroom while attorneys were arguing over whether she should be forced to testify. As she approached the prosecutor's table in court, she looked before the judge, and as the entire gallery watched, she uttered 4 simple words: "I'm ready to go."
Brenda Lou says, yes, you're right. She made trouble for herself. Salute, Brenda. It's like, what are we doing here? It's like the demonstration that I've done with Aaron Hall from Guy. Like I said, if you got about that much dirt on you, shut the hell up. Now, she done strutted, she done stormed up in the courtroom when she shouldn't have. Knowing they gonna dig up any dirt that you got.
I would ask, I need 3 documents in front of me, and they're the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant. 3 filings.
I'm gonna take these 2 comments. Saga says, now Wade has no job and can't afford child support or alimony. Facts. Franklin says the cash money situation will also do her in. Game over. Facts. And 411 says, and they got all her dirt. Believe that. Facts.
Does anyone have the 3 filings of Ms. Merchant? Does the court have the 3 district filings of Ms. Merchant.
When you say the filings, you mean like the pleadings?
The pleadings, yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I think we can locate those for you in a supplemental.
I want the one filed on January the 8th, the one filed immediately after we filed ours, and the final one.
If you want to take a break to get them, I can make a copy. I think we have one.
You know, the only copy I have is going to have my notes on it. So if we don't have a clean copy,
Have a 5-minute break, John.
Let's
I'll get
take-
the documents.
all right.
I'll sit here on my phone.
Sometimes, most of the times, you gotta hide your power. Most of the times, you gotta hide your cockiness. Most of the times. Because in the long run, when things play out, most of the times, it can save your life and it can save your freedom. Also, it could save a lot of money. Sometimes you don't have to pull rank. I say it all the time. You don't have to walk around with your chest on swole. People be looking at me like I'm crazy. You don't have to walk around with your chest on swole. Everybody know you tough. Everybody know who you is. When she did this, and as it starts to play out, she put her own self in quicksand. She put her own foot in her own mouth. All she had to do was shut the hell up.
Defense attorneys asked Willis to clear up the timeline of when she hired Wade, as they argue Willis hired him after the two were involved in a romantic relationship.
Let's start back in 2019.
Yeah.
So you and Mr. Wade met in October 2019 at a conference?
That is correct. And I think in one of your motions, you tried to implicate I slept with him at that conference, which I find to be extremely offensive.
Yeah, you find it to be extreme offensive, but is it true?
I stayed at that conference. Mr. Wade was my teacher. I did not meet him when he taught the class. I was standing outside talking to Lisa Reeves, who is a judge. Me and her were just having a conversation. Mr. Wade walks up. I think they hug each other. They have some brief conversation. She introduces us.
But Robin Yurdy, Willis's old college friend, told the court earlier the romantic relationship began in October of 2019. Willis previously lived in Yurdy's condo prior to their fallout, and the defense hammered her on whether Wade visited the condo prior to the election interference case. But Willis fired back, asserting the defense accusations were all lies.
How often did Mr. Wade visit you at a place where you were living between 2019 and 2021?
So you're going to start with the lie that he lived with me in South Fulton in 2019, a home he's never been to? That's one lie.
Straight lying, y'all. Appreciate that super sticker, Franklin. Appreciate that super sticker, Franklin. Positive Vibe says, if you get jammed up, don't mention my name. What Jeezy say? If you get jammed up, don't mention my name. Come on. Saga says, Law 101, she should have heeded. Come on, lady. Damn.
Are you told me your document? No.
Judge, I didn't ask her about that.
Ms. Merchant, I want you to ask a very precise question. I think she's saying and answering that he did not live with her. So why don't we break that up into smaller parts?
And I didn't ask about living.
But she put in your, while we're talking about professionalism, no, while we're talking about professionalism, she put in 3 different documents he lived with me.
Full opportunity to respond.
In
And filed that with the court.
In 2019.
He's never been to South Fulton. In 2019, I lived in South Fulton. He has never been to my residence in 2019. Ever. Not once.
In 2019, he's never been to your residence, any place.
I lived in my home in South Fulton before I started getting the threats that were here. A house I paid for with my own sweat and tears. I'm no longer able to live there. But in 2019, I did. And in the 2 months of 2019 that I knew Mr. Wade, 3 months, the beginning of October, all of November, and all of December, Mr. Wade never came to my house in South Fulton. Let me help you out. I lived there in 2020. He never came to my house in 2020, let alone live with me, as you put falsely in these documents. In the first 3 months of 2021, when I could still enjoy my home, Mr. Wade never came to South Fulton, and it is certainly a lie that he lived with me.
Franklin says not according to her ex, Betsy.
Then it came time to question Willis about the vacations the two took together and who paid for the trips.
Talk about, you said that sometimes you paid Miss Yurdi cash.
I'm sorry.
When you went on vacation with Mr. Wade, let's just go one by one. Let's start with the first one. What's the first time you went on vacation with Mr. Wade?
This where she about to trip her up. Listen.
I think the first time we went on vacation was around April of 22, and it's a vacation is a stretch, but I'm trying to be comprehensive. I recall April of 22. His birthday is March the 18th, so that would have been his 49th birthday. I took him to Tennessee for the day. I think we went to a museum. I think we might have stayed the night. I'm not sure, but I mean, Tennessee's kind of hard to call a vacation, but I just am trying to be inclusive. And like I said, I know it wasn't more than a day.
So you didn't spend the night?
I think that we did. That's what I'm telling you. I think that there's a possibility that we stayed that night in April of 22.
Who paid for the hotel?
I think I did. It was his birthday.
When did you start dating?
When I started dating Mr. Wade, it was right around then.
April 2020?
22, yes.
2022.
It was around then. I don't know, it's not like when you're in grade school and you send a little letter and it says, will you be my girlfriend, and you check it. I don't know the day that we started seeing each other, but it was early 22 is my recollection.
Okay, early 22. And you all went to Florida on vacation as well?
I don't recall going to Florida on vacation with him.
You never went to Florida with Mr. Wade?
When we went to get on the cruise ship, we went to Miami.
Okay, that's the only time that you went to Florida with him?
I think we went to Miami and spent the night. That's my recollection.
Okay.
I think we spent one night so that we wouldn't miss the ship. That's my recollection of our
Who paid for that hotel?
In Miami? I don't remember that.
And how'd you get to Miami?
We would have flown. And we've done that, so that I'm clear, we've done that twice. I think one time we stayed, and I honestly can't tell you, did we stay when the ship left, or did we stay when the ship came back? I also can't tell you, so there's 2 cruises out of Miami. There's one that's in that October time period that was with his mom, and then there was another that was a New Year's Eve trip. I know I paid for the New Year's Eve trip because the tickets were $697 each, and I thought this is ridiculous that the tickets are $700 to go to Miami, but when you travel during New Year's Eve, they get you.
So let's just back up and talk about the first time that you went to Florida with Mr. Wade. That was the time that you said you stayed in Miami at the hotel the first night?
That's the time I told you I am not sure. So I'm not sure of 2 things, so I want to make sure that my testimony is clear. I'm not sure if we stayed in Miami on the October trip. I'm not sure if we stayed in Miami on the December trip. I just can't remember that. And I also don't remember, so that the record is clear, I don't remember if the necessity was as we got on the ship or we got off the ship. But I do remember.
See,
there was
the thing, if y'all noticed, everything that she says that she don't remember, she's very detailed about it. Did y'all pick that up? Did y'all peep that? Everything that she says she don't remember, she's very, very detailed about it. Listen.
The night spent in Miami because either whatever. I don't remember.
Are you sick of having issues with your webinars?
I'm sick of these
Wasting
damn
tons of time
ads.
on troubleshooting with attendees?
Remember, but I think that there was a night spent in Miami.
That cruise is the one that you took in October, right?
Ma'am, if you have something to refresh my recollection, I'm intentionally trying to not be difficult with you, but I don't want to make up something.
Right.
I know that on one of those 2 trips, we stayed in Miami. I am not sure right now. You're asking me about.
Oh, I'm sorry, you misunderstood. I was not asking you which night you stayed in Miami. I'm asking if you took a cruise in October 2022 with Mr. Wade.
Yes, and his mom.
And his mother. That's what I was asking.
Yes.
Is that the first time you met his mother?
Yes.
It was on that cruise. And that was Royal Caribbean, I believe?
You I honestly don't remember what ship. I know.
Come on.
Cruises. I don't know
Come.
what the ships were.
Now,
But he paid.
if you took cruises, only 2 now, you know both the cruise ships that you was on. Look. Let's stop the BS, Fanny. Let's stop the BS. And 411 says, taking cruises during the pandemic, you knew which cruise. I would have remembered. That's how I know her ass remember. Stop the BS.
For the flight and the cruise on Royal Caribbean that time.
So yes, he paid. He is the original one that does it. He has something called Mr. Wade is a world traveler. I'm not as versed as him. He's been to 6 of the 7 continents, and so he has both a personal travel agent and he also has a cruise travel agent. I don't know anything about either of those kind of travel agents. So he is the one that would
right, Brenda.
travel.
Right, Brenda.
We need to be clear when we're talking about just because he booked it doesn't.
Salute, Jen. Salute, Jen.
Having taken me any place. Let me just be honest. The only one that's ever taken somebody someplace is for his 50th birthday. I consider that I took him to Belize, and I took him to Belize because I don't want to discuss his personal business, but I'm happy Mr. Wade is still here with us, and I did 50 big, very big.
When it came to how Willis reimbursed Wade for the trips together, she responded she always kept cash on her, thanks to a tip she pointed out that she got from her father.
And then after that cruise, you all flew to Aruba and spent a couple days in a hotel there, correct?
Right, and his mother was not happy.
He initially paid for that. He initially paid for that.
For Aruba, yes, ma'am.
So let's talk about both of those. I know he initially paid for it. Did you pay him back?
For the cruise and for Aruba, yeah, I gave him his money before we ever went on that trip.
You gave him cash before you ever went on the trip?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so when you got cash to pay him back on these trips, did you go to the ATM?
No, lady.
You would not go to the ATM?
No.
Okay. So Fulton County pays you direct deposit, I assume?
Yes, Fulton County and the state of Georgia both pay me direct deposits.
Okay. So the cash that you would pay him, you wouldn't get it out of the bank?
I have money in my house.
You have money in your house. So it was just money that was there?
When you meet my father.
Lord have mercy. Answer the question, woman.
You should always have, which I don't have, so let's don't tell him that. You should have at least 6 months in cash at your house at all times. Now, I don't know why this old black man feels like that, but he does. When we were growing up, my daddy had 3 safes in the house.
Right, Franklin. What's your address?
Now, I don't do it to the degree that my father would do it, so he would probably be ashamed with me. But I always have cash at the house. That has been, I don't know, all my life. If you're a woman and you go on a date with a man, you better have $200 in your pocket. So if that man acts up, you can go where you want to go. So I keep cash in my house, and I don't keep.
We get it. We get it. You keep cash in your house. Now get that address up. Get a location to your house where that cash is at.
Mr. Wade money through Cash App.
No.
The only money you've ever given him outside of a contract is cash.
I didn't give him money in a contract, so that was cute. But I didn't give him money outside.
Lord have mercy.
No, we're going to answer it since you said it. He worked. He worked more hours than he was paid, and the county paid him for the work that he did. So don't be cute with me and then think that you're not going to get an answer.
And I will ask you about the contract.
I see why Candace called the Ghetto.
Anything. I'm trying to qualify my question.
I see why Candace called the Ghetto. Do y'all see?
That was paid. I'm not talking about.
Do y'all see why Candace called the Ghetto?
Outside of that,
Salute OG Patrice.
Anything other than cash.
I've only given cash a few times in the course of what we're talking about.
So you've
If we would go to dinner,
Let her finish her answers.
if we would go to dinner, I wouldn't give him cash because he paid for dinner or I paid for dinner. I've given him cash only a few times in life, probably 4.
Okay.
Probably the most money I've ever handed him is $2,500. The least amount of money I've handed him, probably between $500 and $1,000.
Salute, Pee
Throughout
Wee.
her testimony, Willis maintained she was not the one on trial.
So your office objected to us getting Delta records for flights that you may have taken with Mr. Wade.
And, well, no. I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive.
I mean, who the hell do she think she is? Let's salute Pee Wee. Let's spend a few seconds with this. Who the hell do she think she is? First of all, so I can understand once again why Candace considered her to be ghetto. Ghetto fabulous, a hot mess. Franklin says no doubt. Sean says Fanny better get husband. She gonna need trailer visit. Yeah, I believe so. She gonna have to get somebody for some I forgot the word. Y'all gonna have to help me out. Ann says, who exactly does she think is on trial here? Right. And the language that she's using. Do y'all hear her? The language that she's using. Very, 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 very unprofessional. Now, I don't like that at all. That's very unprofessional. I don't like that myself. Talk to me, chat. She just cocky, arrogant. Do you realize your ass is on trial? Very demeaning as well. Yes, and you do realize that, right? That's your ass that's on trial, not nobody else.
Into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
So my question was, do you have any
I
problem?
object to getting any personal records of mine.
We're not dealing with privilege through a witness.
Who does she think she is, Brenda? 80s baby, Pee Wee and 411, OG Patrice. Salute, Lady V. Salute, Lady V. Appreciate you for pulling up. Brenda says she was good at avoiding the questions and talking nonsense. Yes, she's too ghetto embarrassing. Yes. Controversies visits. There you go. Appreciate that, Franklin. Who she thinks she is?
And I'm not, no, I'm not dealing with privilege. What we had offered to put them in camera for the court to review, and I just want to know if she has any problem.
Yeah, she said objection.
Willis said she and Wade's relationship ended, but the two remain friends and professional colleagues.
When did your personal relationship with Mr. Wade end?
Our personal relationship ended in this year. So let's be very clear so that we don't mix words. I don't want to mix words.
There she go. Every time you turn around, let's just be clear so we don't mix words, so we don't get this twisted. It's always let's just be clear. Damn it, answer the question and move on.
Friend right now. Mr. Wade, I would say, has been my friend since 2020.
Stop.
Started out as like a mentor and a professional colleague.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. I gotta speak on this, y'all. You ladies, y'all might get mad at me too. Y'all ladies always try to tell us what? Oh, he's just a friend. Fellas, help me out. Ladies, y'all need to stop that. Oh, we was just friends. Oh, I looked at him like a brother. Oh, whoop-de-woo this and oh, whoop-de-woo that. Knowing goddamn well your legs was high in the air, split apart. Stop it. Ladies, let Fanny be a lesson to all of y'all. Stop it with the, oh, he just a friend. Oh, we just started out as friends. Oh, I never could see myself sleeping with him. Stop it. I got to come for y'all 80s, baby. I got to come for y'all. She's nasty for saying like a brother. Yeah. 80s baby said, don't get the paws put on you. I got to come for y'all females. Fani Willis has caused all women to take a L. I'm going to say it again. Fani Willis has caused all women to take a L with this BS. Talking about, oh, I look at him like a brother. We the fans. Yeah, right.
He became my friend and somebody that I really respected. I feel very indebted to Mr. Wade.
I bet your ass do. Listen.
And he is certainly...
Stop the BS. I bet your ass do feel indebted to him. Let me guess. That's why you gave him the ass, right? Let me guess. Well, only reason why I gave him some ass, Shank, Go ahead with that, OG Patrice. Go ahead with all that spoken facts. Not all women, Shank. Y'all gonna go ahead with all of that. Salute Leslie Bean. But let me guess, that's why she gave him the ass, right? Because she felt bad. Because of the gifts, the vacations, and all of that. So just out of the kindness of her heart, she decided to give him some ass. Yeah, right.
My friend and one of the people that I respect the most.
Lord have mercy.
If you ask about a personal relationship, I consider myself to have a personal relationship right now, Mr. Wade. I consider myself to have a personal relationship with Anna Cross.
Lord
I
have
consider
mercy.
myself to have a personal relationship with Mr. Abadi.
Lord have
I
mercy.
consider myself to have a personal relationship with Andrew Evans.
Okay,
Lord
let me
have
just clarify
mercy.
that.
I have a personal relationship with him as we speak right now.
That's one thing I like about y'all ladies. Hey, spoken facts, you gonna stop throwing them hot dogs at me too. And no, Sean says I agree, especially PTL. Pretty, yeah. Red Bone better fix it. The track will. Oh yeah. Ann says laughing out loud. It's weird she playing professional victim. Yeah, like I said, spoken facts. You gonna stop throwing them hot dogs. OG Patrice says I'm not taking an L for all women. Your ass is today, OG Patrice. You gonna take this L. All ladies gonna take this L today. Lady V says it was a bad decision on Fani's part to have a sexual relationship with Wade while doing this case. Yes. Spoken facts, hot dogs in the chat. Don't y'all throw up no hot dogs.
That's what you're asking. I think that's what
Romantic
you're asking.
relationship. When did your romantic relationship with Mr. Wade end? When did it end?
Me and Mr. Wade, we are good friends.
When did it end? We don't want to hear nothing about y'all are good friends.
We are very good friends. I think, but for these attacks, it would have been a friendship that, as life goes, you would have stopped having. I think that you have cemented that we'll be friends till the day we die.
Let's.
We just have an answer to the question.
Yes.
Mr. Seda. Let's have it.
She asked about a personal relationship.
No, when did it end?
That's the question.
It's sometime in, I'd say late summer of 2023. So I don't believe me in, this is what you're really asking about. This is the salaciousness of all of this, right?
No, I'm just asking about your romantic relationship. When you stopped dating?
I think that me and Mr. Wade, so he's a man, he probably would say
Lord have mercy.
June or July. I would say we had a tough conversation in August. So that men in relationships at the end of physical intimacy, women in relationships when that tough conversation takes place.
Is it me? She never answered the question. When did y'all end the relationship? She eluded. Then she tried to throw all of us men under the bus, and I ain't letting her ass throw us men under the bus because y'all ladies gonna take this L. Talking about, well, you know, men, they think, no. Just answer the question. How hard is it? I'm going to go to Candace Owens on her ass. Let's listen to Candace Owens. Yeah, we're going to go to Candace Owens. I got you, Nola. Just answer the question. Just a simple question. When did it end?
Progressive makes it easy to save with a quick commercial auto quote online.
Happy Friday, everybody. You made it to the end of another long week. What can I have for you today other than Fani Willis? My goodness, ladies and gentlemen, we are not worthy. We are not worthy of Fani Willis. We are going to talk about this case that everybody is talking about because, my oh my, I'm telling you, it is a dumpster fire, and I can't look away. Plus, later on in the show, I am truly offended. it looks like Zelensky's media has released a list of what they are terming the Russian Disinformation 26, and I am not on it. Nope. Tucker Carlson's on it. Russell Brand is on it. Candace? Nope. Good news, though. Meghan Markle has landed another new podcast deal with a, you guessed it, women-led company. I'm excited. All that and more today coming up on Candace Owens. Just take a deep breath.
Yeah, we all need to take a deep
Where do we
breath.
start? Listen, I'll say this. You don't have to like Donald Trump to admit that Trump attracts a very specific kind of woman that is willing to drag him through the court system. And that type, by the way, is clinically insane. A couple of weeks ago on the show, we covered the extraordinary case of E. Jean Carroll. You remember her? Yeah, the one that's going after him for defamation because she claims she was raped, but we're not really sure what she even thinks rape is. We're not going to recap it, but rape is sexy, and Anderson Coop tested. Honestly, the scenes were incredible. And more specifically, the black men down in Fulton County were saying, ooh, yes, he's one of us now, because we also get indicted for absolutely no reason. Take a listen.
I'm here to support President Trump. You want to know why I'm here to support President Trump? Because there be black men like this for decades. Make up charges and put on, so I know Trump is innocent. I support Trump against this corrupt, two-tiered justice system. That's why I'm here to show my support as a black man for Trump. And I'm wearing my shirt for Trump 2024, and I mean that.
What do you think about the indictments?
Oh, it's a bunch of bullshit.
A couple of weeks ago when I said DEI policies are harmful, because obviously is Fani Willis. Yep, the district attorney who indicted Donald Trump down in Fulton for what? Well, I'll jog your memory. They were saying that Trump and his allies attempted to reverse Fulton County's election results fraudulently. They were saying corruption. Our county would never do anything that is corrupt or illegal. Everything is top tier down here. We don't do that. Well, when Fani Willis indicted Trump, she decided to hire a man named Nathan Wade to be the special prosecutor. So his job was to help with Trump's prosecution.
Let's go, Candace.
But just one day after, Nathan Wade, rather mysteriously, filed for divorce from his wife. And he also filed to have all of the records sealed in that divorce case. Now, that just seems a little weird. Maybe it's nothing, or maybe it's everything. Wade, in the meantime, billed Fulton County over $650,000 for his work on the Trump case over these past 2 years. Now, that's a lot of money, $650,000. Could that be corrupt?
Salute, Carmel.
Yeah, turns out it was. After a while, it was revealed that that special prosecutor, Nathan Wade, had a very special relationship with Fani Willis. They were making sexy time with one another, and that's why she hired him on this case. That sounds pretty corrupt for me. And so now they're both facing a misconduct hearing because Nathan's wife is now talking, and she is alleging that the money that Fulton County was paying him, a handsome amount of money, was actually being used to fund their trips around the world for their hanky-panky. Yeah, that's what they're doing. She's paying him. He's taking her around the world, and they're making sexy time. Yep, the state is also accusing her of hiring Wade to help prosecute Trump, despite the fact that Wade is not qualified or experienced in handling criminal matters. So again, that's just a special hire. Now, there are a lot of adjectives that I could use to describe this misconduct hearing. I would say it's ghetto, it's ratchet, it's fabulous in all the wrong ways. Basically, if VH1 watched this and did not immediately phone these two, Nathan Wade and Fani Willis, to cast them on Love and Hip Hop, it will be the biggest missed opportunity ever.
Ghetto or not? What are your thoughts on Fani Willis? Ghetto or not? Let me know what y'all think. Drop a 1 for ghetto, drop a 2 for not.
So I'm just taking through some of these clips very quickly. First and foremost, Fani Willis, yeah, she speaks Ebonics. Here's her describing her reimbursement policy with Nathan Wade. It's a pretty fast and loose reimbursement policy. Take a listen.
Man, these damn
You grew
ads.
this kingdom. Keep it healthy and
I
thriving.
see some ones.
Help protect your family, health, and finances.
I see some
with
ones
Mutual
down
Dental.
there. I see some extra ones.
Now through Sunday, save 15% on all your gardening needs.
Lady V says, I don't think Fani is ghetto. I think she was pissed for
And
attacking her
then he tells me
character.
how much it is, and I give him the money back. I don't, just like you're asking me about the money with Robin, I don't do my friends like that. So if you tell me it's a G, then you're going to get $1,000. If whatever it is, I didn't ever make him produce receipts to me. Whatever he told me it was, I gave him the money back.
Yeah, you heard her, right? She don't do her friends like that. If you, whatever you tell me what it is, like you say it's a G, I'm gonna give you a G. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. I'm just gonna give you a G. You know, I got you. We friends. It's cool. I listen to you. Further to that point, it's because Fani Willis, she don't need no man. Take a listen.
And did the forthcoming indictment have anything to do with that? Or was it just a coincidence?
Mister, let's go on and have the conversation.
I'm just asking you whether or not it was a coincidence.
It had absolutely nothing to do with this.
Is it me? Is it me? Or does she like answering questions? Do influence says her office is nuts, bribing and hitting on witnesses. The Four Light says story spinners I can't get with Fani good. Brenda says Ghetto spoke about drinking vodka. Yeah, is it me? Or why doesn't she like to answer any of the questions? Lady V says, you know the most professional woman can speak ghetto when you attack her character. If she is that ghetto, chances are she would not be allowed to lead prosecutions, in my opinion. Why don't she like to answer questions? Brenda says, nobody asked her what she drank. She just talked too much against herself. Facts. Facts. It's like the questions, when they ask her questions, she don't answer the questions. However, like Brenda Lou says, she voluntarily give up information that nobody cares about. Nobody is asking you about this. Answer what we are asking you. We don't care about what you drink. Why doesn't she like to answer questions? Somebody let me know.
It's interesting that we're here about this money. Mr. Wade is used to women that, as he told me one time, the only thing a woman can do for him is make him a sandwich. We would have brutal arguments about the fact that I am your equal.
Stop right there. Lady V says she doesn't like to answer questions because she is a prosecutor and she knows they will use her answers against her, so she talks about other things, not if she answers the truth. If you tell the truth, what they say, the truth shall set you free. So how can they use her answers or flip her answers? How can they use any of her answers against her if she answers truthfully? Listen to her.
I don't need anything from a man. A man is not a plan. A man is a companion. And so there was tension always in our relationship, which is why I would give him his money back.
Nobody don't want to hear. Nobody don't want to hear. And ladies, put your boxing gloves on because I came to Rumble tonight because of her. Nobody don't want to hear you don't need a man. You accepted whatever it was that the man gave you. So obviously you needed him. Huh? Obviously you needed him. Talking about I need a man. Well, you needed a man several times. And that man just happened to be Nathan Wade.
I don't need anybody to foot my bills. The only man who's ever foot my bills completely is my daddy.
So why you ain't get the money from your daddy? Why you ain't get the money from your daddy? Because according to you, your daddy told you you got to have at least 6 months worth of money in the house in cash. Ain't that what she said? Ain't that what she said? She said, my daddy said. My daddy always taught me to have 6 months worth of money in the house. Well, where was the 6 months worth of money in the house when my man, Nathan Wade, was whining and dining you and giving you this money that out of your own mouth you said you gave back?
Is there anything else you would like to add to that?
No.
Sure.
I'm sure we'll talk about it further.
No, we're not going to talk about it further. All right, no back and forth, Mr. Shadow. Next question.
Ooh, you heard her right. Ain't no man but her daddy, okay? And she kind of does this, and you can tell that now her and Mr. Wade are not on great terms since this affair has been exposed. She regularly kind of insults him and says these sorts of things. But in a rather glorious flip, she admits that she has other options for men, but then she goes, oh, no, but I'm not going to, well, I don't know, I'll just let you guys listen.
And I do appreciate the
I'm not
characterization.
going to emasculate a black man, but I'm just telling you.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm not going to emasculate a black man. Did you understand that?
All right.
Well, I don't think.
So what do we garner from this? She's a feminist, obviously. She can take care of herself, but also she wants you to remember that she is a black woman, and she is not going to emasculate a black man, even though she routinely does it all throughout the thing, of course, by saying that she could have had any other man, and this was just one of many options. As I said, VH1, do not miss this opportunity. I think my favorite part in this entire hearing is when she just sort of comes right out and admits she's pretty stupid as a defense, because obviously they are concerned about these payments that she made, $650,000 plus to Wade. They want to know, like, what are you guys doing around the world? What about these trips? How many continents have you been on? It's a very basic question. How many continents have the two of you been on together? And my goodness, you guys, here is how she responds.
Listen.
He also said that he was a world traveler and had been on many of the continents.
I've been to 6.
Have you been on any of those continents with him? Besides this one?
Where's Belize? What continent is it? I'm not being funny, I don't know.
Let's say, with the exception of
Belize with him. I've been to the Bahamas with him. I've been with Aruba with him. Don't embarrass me. I'm not sure what continents those are on. Whatever continents those are, that's where I've been. I'm sure if I gave it some thought, I would tell you. But whatever continents those are, that I've been to those locations, sir.
But not Australia or any other continents.
I don't even want to go to Australia. I do know he took a trip in December to Australia. I have no idea, I don't know anything about that trip.
It's the Big Pig song!
Look, I'm on her side. Don't ask these questions. You trying to embarrass me? You trying to ask me what continent I've been to? Like, okay, I don't know. I don't know where Belize is. And for no reason, let's just take a shot at the Aussies, right? I don't want to go to Australia. Nope. I don't go to Australia. You are out of line here trying to ask me to name continents. I do not have that level of intelligence, and it's very clear what you're trying to do. I would argue what that man was doing right there was racist. Yeah. Why would we have to know where the continents were? I'm a DA down here in Fulton County. I don't have to know anything. Okay, we keep it legit. We keep it $1.20 down here in Fulton. She's also so legally equipped to be the district attorney of Fulton County that she then appears to implicate herself in a crime. She is describing, they're asking her at least, like, where are you getting all of this cash that you claim to keep on hand? Where is it coming from? Listen to her answer.
So my question was, where did that cash originally come from? If it didn't come out of the bank?
Cash is fungible. We've had cash for years in my house. So for me to tell you the source of when it comes from, when you go to Publix and you buy something, you get $50, you throw it in there. It's been my whole life. When I took out a large amount of money on my first campaign, I kept some of the cash of that.
Yep. Yeah, she doesn't know where the money's come from. She doesn't know where the money's going. She can't count her money, but definitely I'm sure that Fulton County, when it comes to counting votes, everything is above bar. I mean, this is supposed to be the smartest woman in the county. She's a district attorney, and so...
Pee Wee says, how much is 6 months worth of money, Shank? I don't know. She didn't even make it specific as far as to say, well, my daddy always said keep 6 months worth of rent in the house. total up all your bills and keep 6 months worth of all your bills in your house. She wasn't specific on the amount. I'm going to switch lanes and go to this P. Diddy wanting to take 50 cents shopping. P. Diddy offered to take 50 cents shopping, and 50 Cent denied it. Do y'all think that there's anything wrong with one man wanting to take another man shopping? Do y'all think there's anything wrong with one man wanting to take another man shopping? Allegedly, P. Diddy offered to take 50 Cent shopping. How do y'all feel? How do y'all feel? I got one yes. I see one yes. Leslie says it depends on why. Good question. Good question. Lady V says if it's not father and son or relatives, that is questionable. Right. Like, what do you want to take me shopping for? 80s Baby says not if they're dating. There's nothing wrong with it. Saga says, yep, unless it's your dad or brother. Because, I mean, and somebody, I think 50 made it plain. Or somebody summed it up and said, men take female shopping. And when men take female shopping, it's to get a piece of ass. Let's just be honest. Now, I know it's going to be a lot of ladies that's going to say, Shank, that's not true. I know it's going to be some men that's going to say, Shank, that's not true. But in most cases, if a man talked about taking a female shopping, something had to come in return from him taking her shopping. Usually some type of sexual activity. Now, why did Diddy offer to take 50 shopping? Let's check it out.
Stop. Then he was like, yo, so when we gonna get the chance to, to kick it, like we can just hang out, nigga. We gotta kick it. This is Puff. Okay. The nigga Puff was like, yeah, like first he was amping him to get stop. Then he was like, yo, so when we gonna get the chance to, to kick it, like we can just hang out, nigga. We gotta kick it. This is Puff. Okay. He telling me we gotta kick it and shit. He was like, yo, why don't we like go shopping or some shit? I mean, like I'll pay for it. And I was like, what the fuck this nigga just said? I got the fuck away from him because I was like, this is fucking.
Now, in some cases, in some instance, okay. Usually, when a man comes home from doing some prison time, usually. Now, this used to happen very often back in the days when somebody would come home from doing some prison time, his homie or his homeboys would take him shopping to get him right. That's acceptable. That's understandable. That's acceptable. That's understandable. If it's one of my day ones and one of my day ones is doing good and I'm not doing so good, one of my day ones will say, come on, Shank, go to the mall with me. They gonna look out for me. Vice versa. If one of my day ones is messed up in the game, I'm gonna be like, come on, ride with me to the mall. And I'm gonna look out for him. I'm gonna take him shopping. That's understandable. However, if any man, if my day one got money, if he doing this thing, I ain't taking his ass shopping. We could go shopping together, meaning we could go to the mall together, but I ain't buying him nothing because he got money. So why would Diddy offer to take Fifth shopping? Fifth might got more money than Diddy. Let's check it out, y'all.
Hey, this nigga just tell me he taking me shopping. And this is shit that goes on. But there's just a little fruit pie. It's a fruit pie, trust me. You see these little weird ass pictures and shit like that out there. I'm sitting out there for no reason. You don't see accident pictures gonna be like kissing niggas. Like that doesn't happen by accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Look. Later you gonna find out a little shit that I be saying. You understand what I'm saying? Man, listen, I'm trying to tell you the truth. But the truth, sometimes it hurts. Right. It hurts people and they don't want to hear that shit, but I'm trying to tell you, nigga asked me, could he take me shopping? And it fucked me up. And I'm looking like, what the fuck did this nigga just like?
Stop right there. You asking 50. We know 50 got that paper. You asking another man that got money for you to take him shopping. Somebody help me make this make sense. Somebody help me understand this. Why would you want to take another man shopping and this man got money? Why would you want to spend your money on another man? That's unheard of. Unless, and I'm calling a spade, unless there's something behind it. What's the motive? What's the motive? What's behind the motive that you want to take 50 shopping? You don't got a good track record, P. Diddy. It's coming out. Everything is coming out. How you get down. Everybody knows you'll get down now. So, was you trying to trap 50? What was you trying to do? What was the hidden motive? Maybe Fifth can tell us what the hidden motive was.
I take you shopping. I got a bankroll out of this motherfucker. I want to take you shopping. Why? Because when you walk around looking so motherfucking good, I'm going to feel like, God damn it, that motherfucker with me. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. But when a nigga tell me he want to take me shopping, what the fuck is the matter with this nigga?
Right. Right.
I'm beefing with Steve Style. I'm just telling you, you're going to take you shopping. Everybody gonna want to be at Chris Lady wedding right now. Everybody gonna be like, yo, I was there. Well, and I'm bugging because like, while they was sitting there at the wedding, like I'm like this look, because you know they both did hit. Right. Both Stout and Puff. Okay, yes, they hit. They fucked the Veronica, the girl that Chris was married. Whoa, this is awkward. We did not know that. So I'm sitting there like, what we got going on? Oh man, goddamn! Like you know, my own little. I know, you just wanted to jump in. I was gonna follow something. It is what it is. Now you gave me alcohol. Listen. Did we take that shot already? No, yeah. This is the kind of awkward shit that was going on at the same time. So I'm sitting there looking, going like, what the fuck is okay? Okay, maybe this is one of those things where because I'm from the neighborhood, I don't understand what's really going on, right? And it was just his own little thing, like, Chris didn't give a fuck. I guess it was have everybody here so they know I'm secure. And I don't care about none of that shit. And everything's like, and I'm going through my own little feelings. All right. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know how that works. Right. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Like, that's what happened. And it was like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, that was her get that. That was her type. You know what I'm saying? Like, executive type. Like, you want to tell me you went to school, shit like that. You better tell me you got no gag reflex. I'm not going to turn this serious.
What are y'all thoughts? What are y'all thoughts? Let's see what Gene Deal got to say about it. Let's see what Gene Deal got to say about it.
You know, one of the things that happened ever since this whole Diddy situation has just been this like endless amount of content of Diddy doing funny things. You know, like there's the whole where 50 Cent tells the story about how Diddy offered to take him shopping.
Right.
You know, and there's also the time where he made Fabulous real uncomfortable while Diddy was calling some other dude daddy and telling Fabulous, like, yo, why don't you party with me? And, you know, trying to get Fabulous to party with him, you know. What do you think about these like little looks into the past about how Diddy was acting?
I see a lot of I would call epics, these little commercials, these little cartoon things. South Park, that popped up with the devil talking about, I don't want to do it if Diddy did it. Did you ever see that on South Park?
I haven't seen that one yet. No.
Yeah, 50 ended up posting it, but I'm a South Park fan, so I already knew about that one. You know what I'm saying? So that was on. Was that on South Park? Yeah, that was on South. Yeah, it's South Park. Yeah, so I'm like, I'm a South Park fan, so I'm looking at that. So, and I say that this guy could have went down in history as one of the greatest producers that put together some of the greatest music in the 90s and having arguably one of the top greatest rappers in hip hop in his camp. For the people to make him the laughing stock of hip hop, the laughing stock of Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, is one of the greatest tragedies of our time. It's crazy what he has become to the media.
Can you separate his music from his personal life?
You know the man through his music. So you can't separate his personal life from the music.
Why do you think he was offering to take 50 Cent shopping?
I can't really offer that, bro. I can't really answer that. I don't know why, but just on some sucker shit, probably. You know what I'm saying? Trying to play 50. You know 50. Come on, bro. 50 was rich at the time.
And that's what I said. 50 was rich. Why is you asking a rich man to take him shopping? Sean says, Suge Knight, I heard say if they do it to Diddy, it's on all of us. Suge doesn't want Diddy in jail. I didn't get no money, but sure says so. Pee-wee says that he was trying to knock the cream filling out of 50 Cent cakes. It's nowhere in the world. We talking about a rich man. We talking about a rich man. And you're offering to take a rich man shopping. Like Gene Deal said, he tried to play him. You know, he tried to play him. But I guess the joke's on you, P. Diddy. The joke's is on P. Diddy. How do you come back from this? Can you come back from this? How can you come back? As P. Diddy, what do you do in this situation? Your name has been tarnished. 18 brands have dropped doing business with you. So that's 18 sources of income that was coming in that's no longer there. What do? 18 sources of income that was coming in is no longer there. Nobody wants to deal with you. No plugs. Nobody wants to deal with you. You got a possibility sex trafficking charges coming your way. You got criminal charges coming your way. What do? How do you stand in front of your children? How do you stand in front of your family? Pee-wee says, why everybody want to get on Diddy-ish now? And that's another good point. Why all of a sudden now? Because P. Diddy had power. That's why, Pee-wee. And 411 says brands can be sued for condoning stuff. Exactly. Everybody is, P. Diddy was like Debo. He was like the Debo. P. Diddy was the bully of the neighborhood. He was the real bully of the neighborhood. Because see, the difference between P. Diddy and Suge had his goons that pushed the line for him. P. Diddy used his money. P. Diddy was pushing the line on his own. So everybody was terrified of P. Diddy that was in the business because P. Diddy, he did it with Wendy Williams. Y'all remember, he made a phone call. And he said, by the time I get back to New York, Wendy Williams better not be no longer working for Hot 97. When P. Diddy got to New York, Wendy Williams was out of her job. So P. Diddy had pull. He had power. He was plugged in with the elites. Now, and it's what Lamont Sanford said. I done that demonstration last night. Lamont Sanford said, when you cannot make them no more money, when that money dries up and you cannot produce and bring in that money, they don't have nothing else to do with you. It's like a pimp and his hoe. When the hoe can't make the pimp no more money, when she get dried up, when she becomes old and wrinkled and can't bring in no more money, the pimp don't want to no more. So it's the same demonstration. They were pimping P. Diddy. He can't make him, he can't bring him no more money. He wasn't getting no more money. When was the last time a platinum artist released something on Bad Boys? When was the last time an artist on Bad Boy at least went gold? So the money dried up. The money started to dry up. For Life says he got Tupac unalived. And we heard that from Keefe D. He put a hit out on Tupac because Tupac was everything that Puffy wasn't. Let's just be honest. Tupac had a lot of people jealous of him. Do y'all realize that, don't y'all? If you don't realize it, go back and listen to Tupac records. The very people that was in his circle was jealous of him. They were jealous of Tupac. Wherever Tupac went, all the girls, all the ladies, all the females, they wanted Pac. Death Row, the Dog Pound and them said when Pac came to Death Row, Pac made all of us step up our game. He was like, we might bang out a record a day. We might bang out a record a week. He said it'd take us time to make these records. They said when Pac came to Death Row, Pac was knocking out 6, 7, 8 records a day like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. Pac go in the studio, you know, Pac, give me a beat. They give him a beat. Pac runs through it. All right, drop the next beat. They in the studio looking like, damn, how he finish it? Even the Outlaws said the reason how they ended up on certain records with Tupac, because he would tell them, whoever is ready for this record, that's who gets on this record. The Outlaws was like, Pac was running through records like it was nothing. So if you didn't have a verse ready for that next record, you didn't get on that record. You couldn't get on that record. Pac was all that and then some. To me, and it's just my opinion, Pac is the greatest rapper of all times. To this day, almost 30 years later, Pac allegedly was unalive. But do y'all realize 30 years later, just like Elvis, 30 years later, Tupac is still the topic of discussion. Anytime they interview old school rappers, anytime they interview, who do you think that they are asking them about? They asking them about Tupac. You got any Tupac stories? When they mention Big, you don't hear them mention Biggie like they mention Pac. Do y'all realize the influence that Tupac had on the whole world? Do y'all realize? I'm going to give y'all two things that Tupac started. He started the tattoos. Y'all remember? Look at my body. I don't got one tattoo on my body. It was unheard of. It was unheard of until Tupac started tattooing his body up. Right? Even the females. Females wasn't getting no tattoos. But because of Tupac, everybody started getting tattoos in the hood. The wife beaters, the tank tops. We wasn't wearing them wife beaters. Tupac. Y'all realize how many little Tupacs was running around? But Tupac was everything that P. Diddy wanted to be. Where y'all want to go back to? Do y'all want to go back to Fani? Y'all want to go back to Fani? Y'all want me to go back to Fani? Franklin says I'm good on whatever. And says, tats look nasty when you get old. We're not supposed to be doing that to our bodies. That's facts. That's facts. And Brenda says, I don't have any tattoos because I'm not a follower, but I understand what you mean. Right. And I never got a tattoo. I don't have not one tattoo. I don't. '80s baby says, whatever you choose, Mr. Clark. Let's see. What else trending? What else trending? Send it to me on Instagram, Nola. Y'all want to talk about aliens? Let's talk about the aliens. Not the illegal kind.
Introducing the Workday Pant 2.0, a technical 5-pocket pant designed to feel comfortable and look formal. Available in waist and inseam sizes for a better fit. Now comfort looks good.
Switch to Chrome to protect yourself from malware, so you can surf without getting phished.
Drop a one. Drop a one if y'all think aliens are real. Drop a one if y'all think the aliens are real. And he says the Anaka. Who believe in aliens? Drop a one.
The deeper level is okay, so if they're spiritual beings, which I believe they are, like it's a binary. They're either, if you're on team good or team bad, you can assign any name to it you want, but like, what are these things? Are they good or bad? And I think some of them are bad. And if the U.S. government knows that, or elements, the people within the U.S. government know that, then, then they're serving a bad force. And
well, when you say spiritual, like what makes you draw that conclusion that they're spiritual?
What's the obvious? I mean, spiritual may be the wrong word. Supernatural. They're beyond nature as we understand it. I mean, obviously they are. I mean, just chart their physical behavior. It doesn't, it goes outside of what we understand about physics. No visible means of propulsion, coming at indescribable speed, hitting the ocean, continuing at speeds that are impossible undersea. I mean, in other words, if I take a 9mm round or 7.62 by 39 and shoot you at 50 yards underwater in a swimming pool, and it's even more intense in salt water because it's denser, you could catch the bullet if it even makes it to you, right? So if you have a craft, any object underwater that's traveling at 500 knots as measured by sonar, right there, you're challenging our understanding of physics. Like, what is that? How can that be? So, yeah.
They've tracked that? They've tracked things going 500 knots under the sea?
Yeah, really. Yeah, much faster than any object can actually go undersea. Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on underwater, and a lot. And there's video of these things coming out of the sky into the water and also emerging from the water.
Right.
Yeah. So
it's all so blurry, though.
I don't think it's that
transmedium video.
Yeah, I don't think some of it's that blurry. I think some of it's crystal clear.
We just don't have access to it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Just we haven't seen it.
Correct.
So they have some stuff
for sure. So, but there's just a lot going on underwater, and it's measured. And so, whatever. I mean, these are all, again, this is like the most obvious observable level of it, but then you just ask yourself, like, what is this actually? And, if there's been extensive knowledge of this for decades, like maybe 80 years at least, if not going back to the 30s, 90 years, to what end? So there are two possible explanations, obvious explanations. The first is the one you often hear, which is this is so heavy.
Appreciate that super sticker, Franklin. Appreciate that super sticker, Franklin. I do believe in aliens. I don't believe in the aliens that they show us, but I do believe that there are other people living on the other planets. That's my opinion.
That if the public were to know about it, it would be just disruptive. It would be too scary. Like, you don't want to scare people for no good reason. There's nothing we can do about it. And you also don't want to suggest that, the U.S. military isn't capable of protecting the country, the homeland. And it does suggest that. If you can't control these objects in your airspace, and that's known, if they can't, that's known, okay? Then that suggests a limit to the power of the U.S. military, and you don't want to tell people that because then they won't believe that they're safe. I get it. But then there's a deeper level, which is like, okay, what's your relationship with these things? What is the U.S. government's relationship with these things? And there's evidence that there is a relationship and that it's a longstanding. And that raises like a lot of questions about intent. And so like, what is that? And I just personally decided, you know, and people have been hurt by these things. You know, that's a fact. That's a fact. It's a knowable fact. It's a provable fact. And killed. And I'm not saying millions of people have been killed by whatever these things are, but people have been killed, and it's known because it's working its way through the courts out of the VA. So, I don't know, an object that is by definition supernatural, it's above the laws of nature as we understand them, and that has resulted in the deaths of people. But we don't spend enough time thinking about like what that adds up to. Like, not good, actually, not good.
How many people do you think have died from these things?
I don't know, but I mean,
And is it radiation sickness? Is it like, what's the
So the person that I talked to, I interviewed someone who was a Stanford medical school professor who's out there and worth talking to, by the way. And
You're talking about Gary Nolan?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. He was effectively an expert witness in these cases, so he's an expert in brain injury. Do you know him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Entirely credible person. Checks all the boxes that I care about. He's got patents, so he's like a lot of Stanford University professors. He's like independently rich. He flew to, I live in a remote place, and he flew to my place at his own expense because he wanted to tell his story. So he's got no profit motive here. He's the most highly credentialed person at the university, practically, Stanford Medical School. We consider that a big deal. And he's worked on this for over 10 years, assessing the injuries to U.S. servicemen from being in close proximity to these objects or having contact with these objects. And his conclusion, as you know, because you've talked to him, is that there's some kind of energy coming off here that scrambles people's brains or kills them. And it's not exactly radiation, at least in his telling to me. So anyway, but the point is, people have died.
Yeah.
And so, it does raise a lot of questions about like, what the hell, right? What the hell? American citizens have died and you're hiding it? Why are you hiding that? Why would you hide that?
Let's go deeper, y'all. Let's go deeper about these aliens.
Old Spice shampoos are scientifically crafted to help make men's hair look thicker, healthier, and more moisturized. That's because they're blended with the perfect mix of cleansing and conditioning ingredients for men's hair. Try Old Spice shampoos today and rescue your hair.
If these things that we're experiencing are the natural progression of what happens when you do seed life on planet, or you do accelerate biological life, you do have some sort of a genetic intervention where you take this thing that it has emerging intelligence and you accelerate it. And that thing will in turn, with all of its desire for innovation and creativity, and also all of its desire to control resources and have power and have influence, that it will eventually lead to the creation of what we're seeing. That these things are the next stage of this process. Yeah. And that maybe we're dealing with one form of that next stage, but there's another stage that's 1,000,000 years more advanced than that, that's far superior, that doesn't even have a biological limitation in terms of physical space, that it exists completely in some other undetectable realm. That is no longer thinks about biological limitations of life and death and communication. It exists completely in some other space. That's what these things are. And that I always wonder, when there's a crash or when there's a body or when there's a this, that, like, and people say, well, why, if they're so advanced, why are they crashing? Well, hold on. What version are we looking at? We're not saying there's one thing that's visiting us. If there's one thing that's visiting us and we know where this one thing is, we could say, oh, well, that thing, it deals with a completely different solar system that's not as vulnerable. It doesn't have asteroid clouds. It doesn't have all these different things where it's like, it doesn't have a planet that has super volcanoes. Maybe life evolved in a more stable environment and it allowed it to get to a far greater technological level, but not the ultimate.
Yeah, we might be testing the extent of their adaptability. And like I said, are they crashing
by accident,
Right.
mission failure, or on purpose.
Right. Well, just think about communication. Communication used to be you had to get in front of someone and you had to talk to them. So you had to know their language. You had to either nonverbal or verbal communication. You had to.
Aliens, all right? Aliens. Why haven't the aliens, why haven't they made themselves known to all of us? Some people have UFO sightings. Some people have seen or said that they saw a spaceship. Some people even said that they saw aliens. Why haven't they made themselves known to us all? They say the government have aircrafts. They say the government have aliens. You know, they say a lot. They say a lot. We see a lot of mysteries. We watch different shows where they talk about aliens. So what's really good when it comes to the aliens? What's really good on the other planets? I was always told to ignore them in the sky when seen. My elders said they are the demons cast out of heaven. Might be something to it. Maybe. Maybe. For Life says, yeah, gotta take time to think about this. Have we been lied to? Have we been lied to? Why have they kept this from the masses of the people? Why do they show it to us in movies that they call science fiction? Why do they show it to us in movies that they call science fiction? Could it be some truth in these science fiction movies? I remember one of the first alien shows that I saw was E.T. Y'all remember the movie E.T.? E.T. stand for extraterrestrial. I had the E.T. Atari game. I had the E.T. shirt. I watched the movie. I love that movie. Remember Phone Home? Franklin says the same too. So y'all remember E.T. That was out in the 80s. What exactly are they trying to tell us in these alien movies? What's really good on the planet Saturn? What's really good on the planet Uranus? You know, Neptune. And even though they say Pluto, by Pluto being the furthest planet from the sun, there's definitely no life on Pluto because it's so far away from the sun and it's the smallest planet. But how do we know whether or not it's life on that planet, Pluto? Why are there these planets in the universe? Was it ever life on those planets? The whole when you study the Milky Way, when you study the universe, it's not that we don't understand it. It's just it wasn't taught to us to understand it. If y'all follow me. If y'all follow me. It's a reason why it's 9 planets. Let's look at the number 9. On the numeric chart, the number 9 is the highest number. When you reach the number 9, after the number 9, then they repeat. But 9 is the highest numeric or the highest number. Now let's look at 9. We got 9 planets. We got the body has 9 holes. It's 9 holes. I believe it's 9 major organs. Help me out with the number 9. But you understand where I'm coming from. Why is it 9 planets? And we could go on and on and on with the number 9. But it's a reason it takes 9 months for a woman to give birth. Huh? There go that number 9 again. It takes 9 months for that woman to give birth. So when we think about the aliens, why was it given to us in science fiction? And they teaches us, or they taught us, that something fiction, it was fiction and fact. They say facts is something that can be backed up. Facts are something that can be proven. Now when they get to the fiction, they say fiction is something that's false, something that can't be proven. Okay? So now, if you're labeling these UFOs, if you're labeling these alien movies as science fiction, now you're putting a twist on it. Listen, because now no longer are you saying it's fiction, you putting science with fiction, and we all know science is something that can be, and science is something that has been proven. So now you got science fiction. So what are they saying? This movie about aliens is science fiction. It's science because it can be proven if we're taught to understand exactly what's in that movie. Jesus spoke in parables. The people didn't understand Jesus because they wasn't taught the parables. That's why every time he spoke, they was like, they seemed dumbfounded. But we get it because we know 2,000 years later, oh, Jesus was speaking in parables. But the people of 2,000 years ago, during Jesus' time, couldn't comprehend. So now let's look at us in our time. Now, 2,000 years from now, those people are going to have the demonstrations on the UFOs and the aliens. I can go deep, but I just don't got that much time. I just don't got that much time. Now I could do another demonstration just strictly about UFOs and aliens. But the numbers are very significant. The numbers play a role in it all. The Four Lights says Jesus was a scientist for sure. Sure he was. Sure he was. Let's look at the numbers again. He transformed, or he left the earth when he was 33 years old, according to the scriptures. Jesus died when he was 33 years old. Well, in Freemasonry, what's the highest degree? There's 33 degrees of knowledge. Could it have been that Jesus obtained the 33 degrees of knowledge? It's deep. It's very deep. Franklin says, Close Encounters of the Third Kind movie was actually my first alien movie seen. Jesus and the number 33 is wow. Yes. Nipsey Hussle was how old when he died? Nipsey Hussle was 33 years old. And there are some other folks that lost their lives at 33. But there's that number 33 again.
Figure out a way to say things to them.
Yeah.
That's no longer the case. Obviously, with this new Android operating system, it translates, but also the fact that you could have a fucking FaceTime call with someone in Japan right now, and you instantaneously can communicate back and forth, which is insane.
That's a vast distance, but for us, it's like stupid. It's like,
Yeah.
Where was the first time we witnessed the FaceTiming? Where was the first time we seen the Zoom meetings? On the Jetsons. When did that cartoon come out? Was it the 70s or the 80s? But you see where I'm going at with this. Now, when we was watching the Jetsons, we ain't have a clue. But they were doing Zoom meetings. They were doing FaceTiming on the Jetsons. And that was in the 70s and 80s. Salute, Mel. I see you, Mel. Right now, we're on aliens, Mel. We're on aliens. We're discussing aliens, Mel.
Yeah.
easy.
Vast distance and
We're tunneling.
instantaneous.
Yeah.
That's like Pong. You know, that's Morse code. That's like, it's very primitive in terms of what if you physically can be in these places instantaneous?
Yeah.
And why would we assume that that's not eventually going to be on the menu?
Yeah, and of course, friend of mine, Eric Weinstein, certainly espouses we don't even have the right theoretical frameworks right now. He,
Right.
You know, he has his own geometric unity theory, and
Yeah.
he's way smarter than I am.
He's too smart. He has he's got some unique theories himself about where all this stuff is coming from.
Now I want to just tack a little bit. Nah, Mel. Mel says, you mean the ones that kidnapped Carly Russell? She said she's seen aliens. So who am I to say? Now, the question is, who created mankind? Who made you and I? Where did we come from? Somebody created us. Did the aliens, not the aliens that they show us with 3 fingers, I don't believe that. Not the aliens that look deformed, I don't believe that. I don't believe that those are the aliens. I do believe in aliens. I believe in aliens look like me and you, just reside or from another planet. How did we get created? We could go with the Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory is that it was an explosion, and that's how we came about. We could go with the Bible's demonstration. God created mankind. But who created God? Some people say that God created himself. So let's start with who created us. Now in the Bible, it says in the beginning, God said, let us make man in our image. Stop right there. This is the creation of man. This is God talking. This ain't Shank Rock talking. This God talking. Let us make man. Let us. He ain't talking to himself. I know. Some people say he was talking to the angels. He couldn't have been talking to the angels because the angels are inferior to God. The angels are not as one. The angels are the angels. Let us make man in our image. Let us stay right there. Let us make man. Some people say he was talking to Jesus. Jesus don't come into the New Testament. Stay with me, y'all. Stay with me. I need for y'all to stay with me on this one. Jesus comes in the New Testament. The angels are inferior to God. He said, let us make man in our image. He was talking to other gods. Some people say, Shank Ra, there's only one God. Well, if it was only one God, then why did God tell his children to stay away from false gods? Why did he warn them not to follow behind the other nations and the other nations' gods? Somebody talk back to me. That was one of the commandments that he gave his children of Israel. Do not follow after the other nations and their gods. He's telling them, and he's telling us, it's more than one God. I know, we've been programmed to believe there's only one God, Shank. What you talking about? It's not. Go back to the beginning of mankind. Let us. So if he's saying let us, he had to have been talking to other gods. Are y'all following me? Let us make man in our image. So when we come to the understanding of the aliens, we've been programmed to believe all kind of things when it comes to the aliens. The first depiction of the aliens is the same kind of depiction that they gave us of the devil. The devil is a red creature with a tail, with horns, and a pitchfork. So naturally, you programmed to believe that that's how the devil looked. But we were programmed to believe that. Because in reality, you and I can possess a devil. You and I can be a devil. I don't have horns coming out of my head. I don't have a tail. I'm not red. I don't have a pitchfork. But we were programmed, and it's a reason why we were programmed, to keep us from knowing the truth. Jesus said, you know the truth shall set you free. Huh? So if they programmed us to believe the devil was a creature that he's not, don't you think they programmed us to believe that aliens are creatures that they're not? That's why I say, I believe that there are aliens, just not in the form that they give it to us as. Yes, Mel, I'm saying that the aliens look just like me and you. And I want y'all to listen. I want y'all to listen. There was a scientist. And it was many years ago. And I really don't like speaking on things without receipts, without, the resources that I could send y'all to. But I'm going to say this anyway. But there was a scientist. And the scientist said that he looked through a telescope and he seen the planet that got the rings around it. I believe that planet is Saturn. And they asked him, what did you see? He said, I saw a spaceship, an aircraft. And this aircraft was the size of a U.S. city, the size of Los Angeles, size of, New York. It was a big aircraft. And he said, I seen some people get off of that aircraft. And he asked them, who did them people look like? And that scientist said, those people that I saw that got off that aircraft looked just like the black Americans that are in America. And that's true. They showed us that in the movie Independence Day. They're always showing us stuff. Star Trek. Y'all remember Star Trek? Backtrack and go back and watch Star Trek all over again. They were on a spacecraft. They was on an aircraft. Where did they get that from? Think about that. Where did they get that thought from? Where did they get the concept from? Where did they get the idea from? Where did they get it from? That's what I'm trying to say. Is what I'm asking. Everything that we see today, where did they get it from? Solomon said there's nothing new under the sun. You might think you seeing something new. You might think the inventions that you see is new. We learned that when they programmed us to believe America was discovered by Christopher Columbus. Everybody know Christopher Columbus didn't discover America because this country, this continent, whatever you consider it to be, was already here. They also programmed us to believe, that the natives that were here was Indians. But how could they be considered Indians? The Indians are from India. All this time, we've been programmed, and all this time, we've been calling the natives Indians. That's wrong. That's wrong. So we definitely can. And what I'll do is I'll have the link dropped. I'll have the link dropped. And if anybody want to join me on a panel, if anybody, because I'm sure that there are folks out there that can really drop some jewels on this topic. I'm sure of that. So what I'll do is when I do that demonstration, I'll make sure I drop the link and we'll have an open panel. We'll have an open panel. But I believe in aliens. I do believe that there are aliens out there. I just don't believe the aliens look like the pictures that they show us that aliens are. I don't believe that. I believe the aliens look just like you and I. You mean to tell me Earth is the only planet Earth? No. See, now I want us to get into the mind of God. And the reason why I want us to get into the mind of God, because in Psalms, in the Bible, it says that ye are all gods, children of the Most High. Now that's deep. That's deep. Now, if you get taught early on, and I know some of y'all like, hold up, Shank, you losing me. You really losing me now, Shank. You mean to tell me I'm a god? It's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. So it's not my words. I'm not making none of this up. Read Psalms 82:6. Psalms 82:6. Ye all are gods. But we got programmed. And when I say we, I'm saying all of mankind. I'm not just saying one race of people. We all were created. let me jump to the chat, y'all. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Matter of fact, let me finish off my man right here.
And it's all very, very, very interesting and intriguing, but also makes sense. All of it makes sense, including being visited. You know, I had this conversation with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like, why would they be interested in us? I'm like, well, what the fuck are you talking about?
We're super interested. Yeah. Neil, I mean, obviously he's a fine science communicator, kind of the successor of kind of the Carl Sagan kind of.
I think Carl Sagan was a little bit more open-minded.
Yeah. I like Carl better. But,
I'm more of a fan. Wish he was still alive. I love to smoke weed with that guy. He was really into weed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really into it. I have a theory that the universe itself is God. I think
that's like what I was talking about with the, multidimensional creator creating universes. Yeah.
I think we have a very limited idea of when we say God, when God created the heavens and right. But what are we saying? I think it's the universe itself. I think it's one thing, and that this one thing, it seeks to create these things that continually push the envelope and may be gods themselves eventually. I think if you extrapolate from our ability versus the ability of an amoeba, and you continue to move that along, what does that do? Well, it's going to be able to create universes. There's already been theoretical papers that have been written about the creation of other things like black holes, other things like a universe. So what is involved in the creation of a universe? What is involved in the Big Bang? Can that be replicated? Well, not now, but if AI becomes sentient and AI eventually makes far greater versions of itself, if it keeps doing that, what are the limits of its potential? Literally creates a simulated environment that's indiscernible. You can't tell the difference between that and regular life. Well, maybe because there is no difference. Maybe that is that's the theory of simulation theory.
Yeah, simulation theory, familiar. And that is a possibility because the universe seems like a little too perfect. It's a little strange, very created to me. So just like we're in the Goldilocks zone, perfect temperature, it's just
how about the Big Bang itself? What happened? Something smaller than the head of a pin, for no known reason, becomes everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's the universe expanding into?
Right.
It's like a quantum foam or whatever the heck the latest theory is that's beyond me.
And then it perhaps just retracts back down to that infinitely small thing and then expands again. And that this is an endless.
Now, I'm going to tap into, but it's too much. It's too much. So I'm just going to, this is where we're going to pick up on the next demonstration. The Anunnaki. I know I messed up the pronunciation. Listen.
The search for your next where to starts here at chasetravel.com.
Thank you. First of all, thank you everyone for coming. I've heard some stories of some crazy travel times and everything just to get here. Rerouted trains and rerouted airplanes, everything else. And you still came. So give yourselves a round of applause. So tonight we're going to talk about evidence of the Atlantis and the Anunnaki and the civilizations in our solar system. And one thing I want to clear up first, Anunnaki and Atlanteans are really, in my opinion, the same exact people. And that's Billy Carson's opinion. I'm not
saying that's
a stated fact anywhere. And so sometimes if something's my opinion, I'll let you know. If something's been recorded in ancient tablets or texts or science information that's been registered in real science journals, I'll tell you that as well. But my personal opinion is the Anunnaki are the Atlanteans. And so what I'm going to try to do tonight is establish for you some circumstantial evidence that will prove that this culture was not only here, but they were also a not only interplanetary civilization, but they were also an intergalactic civilization. Now, a lot of people always want to ask, well, where was Atlantis? You know, was it this ring city in the Atlantic Ocean? Was it in Greece? Was it in the Mediterranean? Where was it? And my answer is Atlantis is everywhere. We are all standing and sitting on Atlantis at this exact moment. Atlantis was this entire planet. The ring city, in my opinion, was just one of many capitals on Earth. Okay? And that's what we're going to go over tonight. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Enuma Elish, the 7 tablets of creation to start off. And what you need to understand is the Enuma Elish is an ancient cuneiform group of tablets that really talk about the creation of our solar system, the very, very beginnings of the whole thing, how we even got here. And this was copied over and over again onto actually stone tablets that go back, in my opinion, hundreds of thousands of years. Okay, hundreds of thousands, not 8,000, not 6,000, hundreds of thousands. These are recopies after recopies. Somebody sits there with a stylus and wedges in all these cuneiform texts into new stones over and over again to make sure that the next generations to come have a copy of this story. Now, a lot of people have heard about the Sumerian tablets, and they've also heard about Zecharia Sitchin. I think Zecharia Sitchin was one of the greatest researchers probably ever. And the reason why is because he did something a lot of people didn't do. He went and put his effort into trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. What the thing that got misconstrued with him is people thought he was the only person that can decipher these tablets. That's false. But as a matter of fact, Zecharia Sitchin didn't decipher or interpret any tablets. What he did was he took existing translations that already existed and put together his own stories.
Remember, there's nothing new under the sun.
Unfortunately, later on in his life, he was vilified, and it was said that he was the only person that can read him, and nobody knew what these things actually said. But if you look at his books, he gives you his source almost at every paragraph. Okay, so the reason why I bring this up in the beginning is so that people who are sitting here with this precognition of Zecharia Sitchin, maybe this whole thing is just some made-up hoopla of some stone tablets, I'm here to tell you that this stuff was translated before he was even born. Okay, before he was born, E.A. Spicer, King, all these people translated this long before he was even on Earth. So these translations are ancient, in my opinion, because we're talking about 17 and 1800s. The tablets were already translated. So just wipe that misrepresentation out of your brain as I go through this. These are the actual tablets. These are the Enuma Elish and the 7 tablets of creation. What you'll find is that the Bible is mostly this text right here. Dividing the waters from the Genesis is mostly here. Separating the waters from the waters, the creation of man in our image, all of that really in the creation of.
Hey, it's your dry skin.
Damn ass. Are y'all following me?
Seal in moisture. CeraVe delivers
Of the earth, the solar system, it's all in these tablets right here. It's a real amazing story. Even the then preceding enslavement of mankind is also in these texts as well. And the reason for the enslavement is there as well. Now, if you're wondering how can you be sure that these texts are accurate, because Billy's up here talking, we don't even know if he knows what these texts say. Anybody can go to the CDLI online cuneiform digital library. It's hosted by UCLA, and you can actually translate the stone tablets for yourself. You can take a tablet off the virtual shelf and drop it into an online translator and read it for yourself and come up with your own conclusion. What you'll find, just like I did, is that after many, many decades really of reading and studying and researching these tablets, all the different people that have researched them have a very similar story. Not the exact story, but the fundamental basis. The foundation of the story is always the same. People from somewhere else came to this planet, began to work on this planet and create a breakaway civilization, and then at some point, they engaged the existing hominid on this planet, genetically tinkered with us, and turned us into a worker slave for them for a period of time. Now we're just like an abandoned seed colony here, and we're just hanging out, and we're trying to find our way. But there's hope for us. There's hope yet. So the Enuma Elish is really, was originally Akkadian, okay? This Akkadian cuneiform text. And these tablets, they were at the Library of Ashurbanipal is where they were discovered. The Atrahasis is also another amazing text. This is also another account written at another time, also telling the similar story of beings coming from another place and coming here to Earth and engaging mankind.
Are y'all following me? Now, another thought that I want to throw out there to y'all, and I want y'all to meditate on this. Where did they get women are from Venus and men are from Mars? And the story of that is the women was on the planet Venus. The men was on the planet Mars. And they looked at each other and they seen that how fed, opposite attracts. And so they decided to meet on this planet Earth. Where did they get that from? Now, I can't say whether or not that's true. But y'all know that old saying, women are from Venus and men are from Mars. Just a thought that I want y'all to keep in your mind.
Now, what's interesting about this and what really is important about this is to understand, in this time frame when these tablets were being copied and created, people didn't have time to become, George Lucas, right? They weren't inspired by George Lucas to create these incredible sci-fi movies on tablets. These people were scribing specifically what they were told to write by their God or their Lord or their master, or they were writing what they were experiencing themselves at that time. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen how to write cuneiform. It's very, very tedious. You don't really have time to sit there and take out a stone tablet and start wedging in all this text just to make up an incredible sci-fi story. In my opinion, what they wrote was probably as close to the truth as we're possibly going to get, okay? And we know that Uranus, which is a planet that's in our solar system, was affected by a gravitational object that came through the solar system, which is why it's tilted on its side. I don't know if you knew that, but Uranus doesn't have an equatorial orbit this way. It's actually tilted and almost flipping end over end on its side. And the reason why this is important, because in the Enuma Elish and the Atrahasis, it talks about an actual planet or something large coming through our solar system, okay, in ancient times, talking about millions of years ago, and affecting the gravitational fields and also the orbits of all the planets and moons in our solar system. And so now we know this is true because science, they teach you this in astrophysics classes in college. Something huge was gravitationally captured by our solar system and came through, just like these stone tablets say. So when the stone tablets start backing up information that modern science is just now finding out, I have to think that they're probably as close to the truth as we're possibly going to get. We know that something giant came through here, and actually over several passes, which took thousands of years, it started yanking and yanking and yanking until Uranus flipped on its side. Now, a lot of people know this as the Milky Way galaxy, and you can see where the sun is actually showing you exactly where you are right here in one of these, in the suburbs of the Milky Way, right? A nice quiet area, just far away from the galactic equator for us to have a nice quiet area of space where there's not a lot of catastrophe going on consistently. Stars are moving at a very decent speed around the galactic equator, whereas if you were closer in, your star would move much faster, which would age you much faster, right? And what's interesting is, how did we get here?
What the science is showing us is the universe appears to be alive, it appears to be conscious.
Scientists know that we're not from here. Now, I'm going to read this science article to you, just a couple of sentences for it. It says, imagine the shock of growing up in a loving family with people who call you mom and dad, and then suddenly learning that you were actually adopted. This happens in real life. How can this be? Using volumes of data from the 2-micron all-sky survey in 2-mass infrared mode, a major project to survey the sky in infrared light led the University of Massachusetts, and the astronomers are now answering this huge question that have baffled scientists for decades, proving that our own Milky Way galaxy is consuming one of its neighbors in a dramatic display of ongoing galactic cannibalism. The study, published in the Astrophysical Journal, is the first step to map the full extent of the Sagittarius galaxy and show it visually in vivid detail and how its debris wraps around and passes through our Milky Way. Sagittarius is 10,000 times smaller in mass, and so it's getting stretched out, torn apart, and gobbled up by the bigger Milky Way. So if you ever go at night watching out in the night sky, in a nice area with no light pollution, and you look up at the sky, and you see that giant band of stars whipping across, and you go, man, it's the Milky Way. Guess what? You've been wrong the whole time. It's not the Milky Way. Now, this is all the science books have already been rewritten. They've already been rewritten. It's the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy. Why is this important? Because right where the Sagittarius dwarf, not the Sagittarius constellation, the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy, right where it actually merges and meets, there's a little tiny dot. I don't know if you can see it, a little tiny yellow dot where it meets and is being swallowed up by the Milky Way. That's where we are. We also now know by doing a reverse calculation of the trajectory of this Sagittarius merger that we, this solar system that we're in, didn't come from the Milky Way. We are actually aliens here. We don't even belong in this galaxy.
Did y'all hear that? What do y'all think? He said that we are actually aliens. We don't even belong in this galaxy. Did y'all follow? Did y'all catch it? Did y'all follow? Did y'all catch it? We've been programmed wrong. We've been lied to, is what I'm saying. You know, so it's like they got us believing the aliens look like this. Did it ever dawn on you? We're the aliens. That's why I said I believe in aliens, just not the ones that they show us. But did it ever dawn on you that we are the actual aliens? We are aliens in this country called America. We're the real immigrants. I'm a stop it right here, because if I let it go any further, then it's going to open up a whole new can of worms, and then we're going to be here probably the rest of the night. But we got some homework to do. Rock Squad, we got some homework to do. As I stated before, on the demonstration, on this next demonstration, I will be dropping the link. I will be dropping the link. It's going to be an open panel. So make sure y'all do your homework. And I'm looking forward to having y'all on the panel. I'm going to run just a little bit more. Just a little bit. Then I'm going to have to cut it just a little bit more.
So do aliens exist? They're all sitting right here. We're the aliens. So the Sagittarius dwarf is another galaxy that's being consumed gravitationally and merging in with the Milky Way. And exactly at the point where it meets is where we are. Now, what's interesting about that, in the astrophysical books, you discover that in the early creation of this solar system, there were all kind of rogue planets and rogue suns flowing through here, wreaking havoc and creating disasters and everything else. Guess what the Enuma Elish says? The same exact thing. Again, ancient tablets, thousands of years old, modern science tells you the same exact story. It's the same exact story. So we had a planet named Tiamat back then. Tiamat was this massive planet, 4 to 6 times larger than the Earth, a water-bearing planet with land, and in my opinion, most likely life. One of the biggest theories that I have when you talk about these miners that go into these deep shafts, and depending on how many layers down, you can tell how many millions of years back you're going in time. 3 million years, 4 million years, 500 million years, they found a vase. 200 million years, they found a hammer. They're finding all these tools and vases and all these incredible anomalies at hundreds of millions of years and back in time, depending on the depth of the anomaly, right, in the shaft. How can that be if human beings have only really been Homo sapien and creating tools for maybe 200,000 years? If you want to stretch it to maybe almost a million, okay, you can do that. But where did these anomalies come from? In my opinion, so Tiamat in the ancient texts it was actually colliding with another moonlet of another planet that was orbiting a brown dwarf star. When it collided with Tiamat, it blew into giant pieces. That is what your asteroid belt comes from. The asteroid belt, you have Mercury, Venus, Earth, and then you have Mars, and then you have another planet, which nobody talks about, called Ceres, C-E-R-E-S. There's another planet. It has more fresh water on it than Earth, by the way. Then after Ceres, you have the asteroid belt, okay? The asteroid belt is an exploded planet. It was Tiamat in ancient times. The ancients said this. Now, this is interesting because Earth didn't exist yet at the time that Tiamat was here. They said that Tiamat was so beautiful that the glow from the sun reflecting on it rivaled the sun's glory.
This is from Billy Carson. Make sure y'all tap into Billy Carson, Forbidden Knowledge. And it's the Anarcha and Atlantis with Billy Carson. I always mess up the Anunnaki. It's A-N-U-N-N-A-K-I. The Anarcha and Atlantis with Billy Carson. You're welcome. Make sure y'all tap in to Billy Carson, Forbidden Knowledge. The 4 is the actual number. So it's Billy Carson, the number 4, Forbidden Knowledge. A little bit more than we're going to get out of here.
How could they know that? How could they know that if the Earth wasn't here? What perspective did they see this planet from? What planet did they look at it from? We don't know. But what's interesting is that was a statement that was made in the text. And so Tiamat exploded. A giant chunk of it swung away.
Anunnaki.
This is what it was, divided from the waters. It recoalesced back into what we now have called T, which is the Earth. We are part of another planet. That's why when you dig into this planet, millions of years in the past, layers down, you discover anomalies that shouldn't be there. Because in my opinion, this is another Billy Carson hypothesis. Those anomalies were when we were part of another planet. Those are artifacts from Tiamat that we're uncovering. You never heard anybody talk about this before. That's my whole theory. So I'm working on a show about this right now. So you see you have the way that our solar system is set up, and you have the asteroid belt right there between Mars and Jupiter. Right after Mars, there's a little tiny planet called Ceres. Like I said, it's hardly on any star maps or anything. But that right there, that what you're looking at, with what they call the hammered bracelet in the Bible and other texts, the ancients have known about it for eons. That is actually remnants of Tiamat, an exploded planet.
Are you interested in starting your own faceless YouTube automation channel, but all people do is tell you to go to frickin' Fox?
Wow. Another one. Another wonderful life. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Salute to all my moderators. Salute to all the new subscribers. I really appreciate all the support that I'm getting. Make sure y'all leave comments in the comment section. And not only make sure y'all leave comment in the comment section, make sure y'all hit the like button. Seems to know much. Yes, he's definitely deep. And that's the thing. It's so much that's out there. It's so much out there. Appreciate that positive vibes. Appreciate that, Franklin. I'll see everybody on the next demonstration. Remember, the next alien demonstration that I do, I will be dropping the link, and I will have an open panel. Salute everybody, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.